Hey everybody, welcome back to Das Lab. Today we're moving into the back into the sound realm a bit. There's a problem with this. My very first amplifier I ever bought, first piece of electronics for music I ever bought. It is a Carlsboro Scorpion lead, probably from the mid '80s. British made solid state amp. And here's the problem. Power's up, no problem. And intermittent input. Not sure if you can quite hear that. So something's wonky on there. Plus, there's something going on with that gain pot. Everything else is a little scratchy. We're going to, oh, it's stiff. So we're going to go in there, take it apart, get access to that input, and see what's going on with the pots. Okay, so disconnect that. Won't need that until we power it back up. Take off the mains, and hopefully you can see everything that's going on there. Who knows? Maybe we'll even get real fancy and we'll repaint liquid paper, nail polish, who knows, something to do with those knobs. What? Where did that fly? Sure how that happened. That's a bad start. So what are we looking at here? We've got okay, there's some screws here on the side. Probably pulls this whole chassis out. Let's see. Felipe. Now I've had this apart before. I'd made a color organ, which is a device that basically it has 3 filters on it, and the low sounds would go to one set of lights, and the medium sounds would go to a second set of lights, and the high sounds would go to another set of lights. And I hooked it up to this, and I blew something. So back in my college days, I'm going to say in the late 80s, I knew I blew up a capacitor in here, and I'm going to make sure I get this other grommet from the side of the washer. And so I've been in here before. I forget exactly how I got in there. This is a nice device. It's got, I can't reach in there from under here. That's just going to come out of its own volition. Spring reverb. In behind there. So what have we got? We've got, you're filming this because they're going to see the red is on the left, into the spring reverb, the black is on the right. We've got this lead going to the speaker, and this one through a grommet coming in. So what have I got here? I've got 120. We got ground there, black and white. That's pretty straightforward. Plus, you're going to be keeping track of this for me. So let me get a small screwdriver, and I can disconnect the mains. The mains, man. That's what they call it over there across the pond. We call it the line voltage, they call it the mains. Of course over there it's probably everything is 240, 220. So ground, line, live, maybe black. And then white way over there. And pop, pop, pop. And that's soldered. We're not getting much further out than that. Nice little circuit. Ooh, those are all schmooey. There's goop all over these things. Let's clean that up. Let's see if we can tell which capacitor I worked on. Oh, so many years ago. Oh, there you go. Oh, that's the mains. And that's capacitor right here. One of these. Oh no, that's just another set of lines coming in. Where I'm looking for old chunky soldering connections. Big cap there. If I soldered it, I mean, I'd like to clean things up, but driver there. And what's our soldering connection look like there? Let's see if I can get this speaker. Work on this thing a little bit more rationally. That's soldered. The speaker's soldered on. And I got a squeaky wheel. Let me just see if I can disconnect this without you watching. See you in a second. Okay, so I don't know if you can see, but I put a BL on that side and a BR on that side, and I'm gonna anti-solder these two leads, and then I can clean up the area a little bit and get it working. So let me power up the soldering iron, and I'll show you that. Okay, so we're going to put some pressure on there. There we go. Oh, nice. Lifted the pad right off. That's good. Okay, well, we'll fix that up later. And we can get rid of that. Big part of that. Okay, fix the wheel. My goodness. Squeaky, squeak, squeak. Okay, let's bring you in a little closer and start looking at some of the components down here. This is not a lesson on amplifiers. I don't have the schematic, and I'm not going to try to go through and explain what I'm looking at here. All I'm concerned about is figuring out why the input is noisy and if there's anything we can do about it. So looking at the solder on it, could be a little bit better. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm only seeing basically the 4 connections there for that. You know what I'm beginning to think is there's I don't know what's wrong with it, but as we know from other experiments, like with the salt and pepper shaker, sometimes a little soldering goes a long way. So I'm just going to refresh those. Better get some solder. Okay, touching them up. And who knows what it looks like on the inside of that connector. So what am I going to do? I'm going to turn that off, and I am going to get our old friend, the deoxit, and that plug, and just basically clean that out. Now what's interesting is when this goes in, No, I don't think there's any sort of switching action there. It does lift up on those. But, oh well, let's deox it anyways. And we'll put some on here. And away we go. In and out, and in and out, and in and out, and in and out. Play it all night, and the music's alright. Mama's got a 1/4-inch phono jack. Daddy's gonna sleep all night. So I don't know, we'll see what that does. There's only four connections. They're soldered on there, and hopefully we get good contact. And we'll just clean up the mess here. Oh yeah. Yeah, you see how sticky those are. Okay, so I'm actually going to go in to the I'm looking for an access point on these pots. I don't want to drill or anything in there. It does look like there is a little pathway, if you will, some sort of a hole in that if I was to spray this, yes, so if I was to spray in there with some of my deoxit, I should be able to access some of the internal parts of that. So this says it cleans and flushes, deoxidizes and flushes. So let's see. Come on, you. Alright, let's give it a good go. And now to exercise them. It is funny how if they were at all gummy in the initial trying of them, that stuff, man, like they fly, they glide very nice. So who knows? Yeah, that's moving really nice. That one is stiff. That's a treble. The trouble with treble. And that one's quite stiff. And the gain pot was crackly. And it's still quite stiff. Let's give it another little shot, shall we? There we go. That got her. Got her that time. Yeah, that stuff sure lubricates the pots anyways. Now people have gone in and done this with WD-40, you know, tried to clean up potentiometers and stuff like that. That's a short-term solution. I mean, it flushes, but WD-40, you know, you'll use it to lubricate door hinges and that. They believe in something behind it. And I don't think it's good for pots in the long term. Isopropyl alcohol? Yeah, cleans too. Doesn't help to deoxidize, right? So you might get, again, short-term benefit from using isopropyl, but the long term I don't think is going to be really good. So I'm just cleaning up the goo that is on these knobs here. I hope none of this is going to take off any of the paint. Like this amp's in pretty good shape. You won't see a lot of music videos of mine I'm not known for my musical abilities. Oh, I play and I try, but well, not how I make my money. I'd starve to death if I had to rely on my singing abilities. Okay, so now what are we going to do? Direct inject, phones, remote switch, which I believe turns on and off the reverb. Not going to bother with that. I've never had any trouble with the power switch. The mains. So, I guess I'm going to go fix up these two holes where the blue and the brown came in. And I didn't like the way that pad lifted off, although I do have a lot of meat with which to attach that one lead. So I'm going to clean up that hole and get it ready to reassemble. Okay, I've got the brown and the red poking through here, and of course, if you know me, you know that I like to use flux when I'm soldering, as you should too. Helps everything flow. It's a little bit of acid that helps get your creative juices flowing, your solder flowing in the right direction. That is going to stay on there. And you don't want to solder without flux. You wouldn't want to weld without it, and you don't want to solder without it. So let's just get you out of the way. You out of the way. And there we go. Nice and easy, see? Good. Okay. Anti-soldering is complete. Anti-soldering. It's resoldered. Wouldn't hurt to clean that up with a little bit of isopropyl and a little brushy brush, which is eluding me right now. There's a big brush. There's a small brush and a bit of isopropyl. Clean up the solder, the fluxing. You know that acid is there to do its job when you want it, but just clean it up afterwards. I know I replaced the capacitor in here, and I must have done a good job cleaning it, because I don't see any telltale signs of me having been in there replacing the capacitor with that color organ that I had on there. Okay. Tappa, tappa, tappa. Okay, what else we got to put together here? We got the mains, man. So that's gonna flip. Whoop! Yikes! Yeah, rip those right out. Why don't you? How's that gonna go? That's gonna go that way. And those mains. Can you still see? Not really. Eh? So with my world's microscopic screwdriver, I have the ground under the ground looking like thing. I'll just back these out a little bit more. Earth, I guess they'd call it over there. And I'll snug those up a little bit later. And I got the line was under the black one. pull that out a bit more. Get that positioned in there properly. Of course, it don't want to go. Why not? It looks all discombobulated. Oh, it's a bit of a spring to do. You don't just slide it in there. Gonna push it in a bit. There you go. Line. And then over there where it said 120, on the far side I've got my white. And we'll torque that in. Click. 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 And the final test. Okay. Reverb. Pretty sure it was red over there. And black over here. Okay. Feed that all back in. And dare we? We dare. Okay, mains. Oh, it's on. Yes, that scared me. There was a little drop there. Don't forget I've already blown this amp up once in my ute. Well, that's better. No cracky. Let's get a real on here. Volume. Sounds good. No cracking. No crackling. No crackling. Do they do anything? Yeah. Bass. Huh. I'm liking that deoxit, I'll tell you. I can't say it stood the test of time, but it's the initial. Oh man, that's schmoot. A little bit of a buzz, eh? Could be the guitar, but you know what? I think I got that. Alright, I'll put it all back together and we'll come back and give it a try. Okay, there we have it. Crystal clear, no more wonky input, no more crackling anywhere. I had the reverb hooked up wrong. The wires actually get crossed inside, and instead of the wire over here going to this one and the wire over here going to this one, they had to cross over, and now I got reverb. And you can always tell by hearing your spring reverb. So, anyways, my light's flashing. That's all I got for you on Das Lab this time. Have fun. Be safe, and for God's sakes, don't get any on you. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you next time, everybody.